Hi, and welcome to, well, the end of the game, I guess. Got things to shoot there. We got a big thing to shoot there, apparently. So that's big guy needed to get murdered. A little bit of a sip of beer first. Never start a fight without beering. You might know what you're doing if you're sober, and that's fun, that's a... Okay. You, me, outside, now. Yeah. Okay, bloody hell, it's quite fast now. Corrosion on this one, so I'm guessing this should be a good weapon against it. What are they? V. Good one. What's it?
Here we go.
Reload. Come on, run up. T. T. Somewhere. Oh, really? Are we fully loaded or something? No, we are. Run. Come on, run. Run. I get it. I see it now. Because it's, these things absolutely need to die because they are quite bloody annoying. Right there. Heal. Shoot. Murder. Shoot the bastards. And run away. Heal. And heal. And reload. And shoot that thing a bit. Reload. Come on, run! Reload. Heal. Shouldn't they be waking up with that? Or did I never get that thing? Ah, they are respawning, of course they are. Because of course, why not? Come on, reload. The shooting freezy thing is now apparently. Die! On! And yes, I am not a huge fan of these kind of fights. I've never been a boss battle type of gamer. How are you then? Yeah, but why not? Wondering why they aren't getting up. Did I forget to do that thing, really? the thing with if I heal they would get up resurrected. Oh, brilliant. Here. What bullets do I have? That was useless. This one. That one. Alright, so there's no point in doing that at least. Which does not surprise me at all. Maybe they didn't respawn. Yeah, they do respawn. Really. Yeah, of course you're here as well. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this at all. Come on. Get a different weapon, not that. And not that, and G. We'll just go and die somewhere, please. Oh, perfect. Run! Of course I'm out of ammo as well, because why wouldn't I be? So unbelievably boring to me. I'm sorry, but I really hate these kind of boss battles. Never been anything I found interesting. Especially when you also have to have a bunch of enemies, you know, continuously coming back. You know, respawning over and over and over. So it's not only, you know, big man. You have to fight the rest as well. Over and over. That is not a lot of fun to me. It's the exact opposite of fun, actually. And yeah, I'm supposed to learn the pattern of him and so on. That's why I don't play, whatever they're called. Dark Souls and those either. So I don't... It's not for me. Wait for him to attack, then he stands still for a while. And that kind of thing is... Yeah, sorry. I know there are a lot of people that do like this kind of stuff, but I do not. Okay. Probably has some specific place I should shoot at as well, because they usually do. Oh, reload. Let's go away and die. No, you did not come yet, alright. So reload and... heal. Oh! Didn't reload. reload now then, come on. Super bastards. Quite impressive that it shoots through the bloody thing. You know, the thing. Could you please just die? Fan-bloody-tastic. You better have something nice on you. What? Key, is that all? Cheap bastard. Oh, they weren't spawning, at least they came from different places, I guess, right? Maybe. I hope that's a thing at least. Where did I come from? I'm supposed to go there, right? Yes. I saw another thing over there. Let's see if I can get into. This is sealed, right? Yes. This no. Ah, I'm one too low. Okay. Sorry about my mood there, but I really do not like these kind of boss fights. Never have, never will. And let's use a different weapon of some sort. There. Someone else. Oh. Thought it looked a bit like a ladder there for a little while. Anything? No? Did sound a bit like fucking DSP there, didn't I? I hate but yeah, yeah, sorry, but I do find that so bloody frustrating. Just running around and shooting and just waiting for something to happen and shoot and yeah, not for me. But pause a bit. There, now let's enter this place then.
Everyone all right?
Oh, thank you, honey. That was amazing. Whoa, it went alright. I didn't even have a chance to react. Ah, that was very unexpected. Hello, people! I am a lost cause. Yeah.
Get me out of here!
Why? Confront something. Yeah, I didn't get much of a chance to do that, to be honest, but how, where, maybe here, the thing, you know, the thing, oh, that thing as well, yeah.
You don't know how glad I am to see you. You did the right thing. Akande was a monster. Her death was much deserved and long overdue.
Yeah, I didn't do anything.
You lunatic. You broke into the board's own fortress just to rescue one doddering old man. You are absolutely out of your mind. And I can't begin to thank you enough.
Did you getting bored and stood chance? That. It has to be that.
Ah, all in a day's work for you, huh?
Yep. Apart from
You've broken the board's stranglehold on
Big
this
bloke.
colony, and you saved my life. But there's still so much we have yet to accomplish. You and I are going to have to work harder than ever to save Halcyon. I'm afraid the situation is far worse than any of us ever
we
anticipated.
get to see that in the DLC, I suppose, right? Ah, that seems more like sarcastic. Great, let's celebrate and go for it. Let's go for that anyway.
I would like nothing more than to celebrate this victory, but we have a serious problem on our hands. Earth has gone dark. We haven't received a single message in 3 years. There's been no communication, no signals, nothing. 2 years ago, the Earth's Directorate's frigate disappeared on their way back to Earth. We don't know what they discovered when they arrived, or if they arrived at all.
Biden
They
did
haven't
become
exactly
president.
been hands-on around here anyway. So there's one less rubber stamp to worry about.
Earth is humanity's home planet, Miss Fenhill. The psychological effects of losing our original home will be devastating.
You mean we're all alone out here? Really alone?
Nah, we got
I'm
each other.
afraid so, Miss Holcomb. Halcyon is the only home we have left. Returning to Earth is no longer an option. We're in serious trouble, my friend. Do you know what this means for Halcyon? We can't rely on Earth for support anymore. We've been cut loose. We're entirely on our own.
Or in regard to the previous, I guess Trump became president then. Just to, you know. In case you're like that. I don't give a fuck. I mean, I'm Sweden, so more bloody farce to me. Sad that it is a farce considering the magnitude of power they hold, but farce nonetheless. Right. Let's go with that then, just in
certainly.
case
I'll help
something
however I can.
new. Hopefully, all right. A lot new.
I don't know what happened, but something must have gone
Sorry.
horribly wrong. I don't know why Earth's gone silent. I don't even know if Earth exists anymore. We have no connection back to Earth, and return is likely impossible. We're completely alone out here.
Yeah, you said something about that before.
I heard it from Akande herself. She tried to pressure me into joining her side, you see. Tried to make me realize that all hope is lost, and that we are alone. She was half right. We are alone, and we're going to have to fend for ourselves, because there's no telling what's happened to Earth.
Sure.
You might have heard of the Earth Directorate's frigate.
Oh,
Half
you
the
may.
colony's entire military was on that
Frigate
ship.
missing.
They were returning to Earth when they vanished without a trace. That was 2 years ago. We haven't heard a word from them since. Whatever happened to Earth likely happened to them.
So let's be a bit slower here so you can guaranteed read all of them.
Yes, Akande mentioned as much. Earth hasn't sent us a single message in 3 years. No one knows why. Akande had kept the truth to herself, perhaps with good reason. Can you imagine what would have happened if word got out? We'd have utter pandemonium.
Good times, in other words. Okay. Yeah, let's go with that then. Why not
Yes,
first?
you were the one who reactivated that relay station, weren't you? Any
Yeah.
message from Earth would have arrived unencrypted. It's been 3 years since our last message. The board tried using drones to contact Earth. Every one of those drones sent back the same encrypted message. Earth is completely silent. I wasn't trying to hide the truth from you, but after all you've done, I owe you an explanation. Yes, I experimented on the Hope's colonists. Each of my experiments ended in catastrophic failure. Each of my subjects died in agony. You are my first and only success. I didn't tell you about the others because I didn't want to burden you. My failures are my own to bear, not yours.
Yeah, that.
Thank you. Perhaps in time I'll learn to forgive myself. My apologies. I need to get a hold of myself.
Sure.
We've far more pressing issues to worry about
We've
right
got
now.
a DLC, I guess.
If you have any more questions, ask me. I'll
But
answer as best I can.
I am not sure how, when, where I will be playing it. Right now,
Yes,
we'll
do.
see.
You've done a marvelous thing. You've succeeded where anyone else would have failed, including me. We must
I was
begin the
about to
revival
fail.
process immediately, starting with the Hope's brightest minds. And then we're going to fix this damn colony, one problem at a time. We're going to need a leader, and I can't imagine a better person for the job than you. What do you say, old friend? Will you help us?
A leader? No, I'm not a leader. Yeah, that actually. Sure, that. Yes.
You've certainly earned your freedom. Halcyon is a better place with you around. You've kept your end of our bargain. Now it's time I kept mine. I'll revive the Hope's colonists myself.
Good.
And we'll get on with the business of saving this colony. You're the best thing to ever happen to Halcyon. If you want to take it upon yourself to lead this colony, you have my support. We're not a colony any longer, are we? Our last connection to Earth has been severed, and so we have been set free. Our future is uncertain, and no one knows what tomorrow holds. Exciting, isn't it?
Sure. As long as I got a gun and plenty of ammo.
The OSI teaches that everything in the universe happens according to the grand plan. But the stranger that arrived in Halcyon was an unplanned variable. From the moment he landed in Emerald Vale, his actions altered the course of history. The events on Tartarus brought about the end of the board's authority. But the board's mistakes would haunt the colony for decades to come. The damage they left behind would require the work of a generation to repair. Dr. Phineas Wells began reviving a handful of the Hope's colonists. Engineers, scientists, technicians, and intellectuals. They were among the brightest minds the Earth had ever sent out into the stars. The Hope scientists and engineers woke up in a colony descending headlong into total collapse. With no way to return to Earth, they had no choice but to band together and devote themselves to the cause of saving Halcyon. The people of Halcyon were nothing if not hardy. In the absence of the board's authority, many of the colony's settlements banded together with a single purpose in mind: survival. Life was especially hard in the years to come. Some towns dissolved by attrition and starvation, but most of them found a way to carry on. In the years to come, Halcyon was forced to reckon with its newfound freedom. The board was gone, and for better or worse, the colony was responsible for its own destiny. Between MSI's worker-centric policies and the iconoclast's manpower, Sanjar and Zora were able to rally many of the Terra 2 townships to their cause. MSI's workforce swelled, and the iconoclasts enjoyed a significant surge in their ranks. The board was too distracted by infighting and internal politics to stop MSI from becoming a powerful corporation and a refuge for townships that might have fallen through the cracks. Consumed by paranoia, Lilia Hagen took Sublight Salvage in a controversial direction, openly accusing board officials of an extraterrestrial conspiracy. One day, an accident at the Groundbreaker's docking bay silenced her forever. Time would tell if her replacement could keep the Sublight family together. The collapse of Edgewater left its workers bereft of any purpose in life. Most of them made their way to Adelaide McDevitt's camp, hoping to ingratiate themselves into her favor. Adelaide accepted only a few to her community. The rest were turned away and likely died of starvation. Nevertheless, Adelaide's camp grew into a well-established town. Adelaide McDevitt refused to cooperate with the ongoing effort to save Halcyon from collapse. A sympathetic deserter stole a copy of her research and delivered it to the Hope's scientists. It is unclear how useful Adelaide's research was. An optimistic estimate suggests her work may have bought Halcyon another few years of survival. Adelaide would never know. She died that winter. Under the leadership of Junlei Tennyson, the Groundbreaker held firm against corporate influence. The ship's mechanical stability gave Junlei the time to educate a promising generation of engineers schooled in her family's traditions. The future of the Groundbreaker looks promising. The rediscovery of the Hope and the abandonment of the lifetime employment program forced Byzantium to come to terms with some uncomfortable realities about the state of Halcyon. While Byzantines were reluctant to surrender the luxuries they'd grown accustomed to, the board's diminished authority gave them little choice in the matter. Nearly everyone had to learn to make do with life.
Nice.
Some even had to get jobs. It was a dark time
No.
indeed.
Fuck those bastards.
Your influence shifted Ellie's perspective. She finally admitted, albeit grudgingly, that she just might need other people. Sometimes. With a steady income from the life insurance payouts, she was finally able to afford a ship of her own.
Good.
She hired a small crew and flew supply missions to communities on the fringe.
Some
Some
legal.
of them were even legal.
Oh, really?
Life in Halcyon was sobering for Felix Millstone. The grand revolution he dreamed of never came. There was no great awakening for the colony, no celebrations in the streets. There was only the hard, desperate work of trying to repair a broken colony. Felix never had a head for numbers, but if there was labor to be done, he was there to help. Eventually, Felix realized that the work of a revolution was done with two hands. As much as he enjoyed his adventures aboard the Unreliable, the vicar, known as Max, eventually decided that it was time to move on, to live out the life he had sought so long to create. He knew there were many in the colony who carried burdens much worse than the ones he had struggled with, and he devoted himself to easing their suffering wherever he could. He only ever took up arms again to defend the defenseless. Unshackled from a lifetime of striving and fighting the universe and himself, Vicar Maximilian de Soto was finally at peace. Once the matter with the Hope colonists was resolved, Junlei bashfully asked Parvati if she'd like to join her permanently on the Groundbreaker, and Parvati enthusiastically, if somewhat awkwardly, agreed. The stories of her adventures spread across the colony, and Parvati soon found herself the center of attention. Having served as the engineer of a renowned spacecraft, tramp freighters and wildcat miners sought her out by name. And in no time, she was a fixture in the Groundbreaker's mechanical ecosystem. She and Junlei were never far apart.
Good for her.
Mioka returned to Monarch to take another crack at making a permanent life for herself. She formed the Charon Group, a mercenary outfit of ragtag survivalists and wilderness experts. Anyone in need of a guide or just looking to throw back a beer and swap stories could find her camping on the trail or clearing an infestation. The SAM unit that accompanied you spread awareness of the product line's superior sanitation and maintenance capabilities across what was left of the colony. This led to a boost in SAM unit sales. Did you know that SAM units are the longest-lasting, toughest-acting cleaning solution in Halcyon? Minister Clark was released from house arrest, and his contact with you gave him a sense of renewed purpose and vigor. Once it became clear that no help would be coming from Earth, he threw his considerable efforts and talents into helping Halcyon manage the crisis before it. Chairman Rockwell served as the public face for the changes in Halcyon to come. Whenever you needed strings pulled or a voice to sell a policy change, Rockwell was only too happy to oblige.
Good for
As
him.
for Dr. Phineas Wells,
I
he
guess.
spent his remaining years in his orbital lab. He eventually came to terms with his own past and was able to forgive the mistakes of his younger self by devoting his remaining years to serving the colony. Dr. Wells was able to revive many more scientists and engineers than he first expected, thanks to the additional batch of chemicals you stole from the Ministry. Wells never forgot about the human lives that were lost in acquiring these chemicals. In the end, Dr. Wells was able to save every scientist and engineer aboard the Hope. Over the next decade, nearly all of the Hope's remaining colonists were successfully revived. Halcyon saw a period of rapid technological and scientific advancement. Breakthroughs in dietary supplements saved the colony from starvation. Geoengineering projects and social reforms began to change the structure and character of the colony. Dr. Wells laid the groundwork for the project to save the colony, but he would never live to see the fruits of his labor. He passed away a few years later, His work was carried on by the scientists and engineers he revived. Today, Halcyon has stabilized. The people of the colony work hard to adapt to their new circumstances. Nearby colonies send aid and supplies. Life will never be easy in Halcyon, but for the first time in its history, there exists a sense of real, genuine hope about the future. And what about you, the unplanned variable in the history of Halcyon? You brought an end to the chaos in Tartarus and left Dr. Wells to his own devices. The affairs of the colony never distracted you from living out your own dreams, to captain a ship, to sail the ether, and to earn a reputation as the greatest spacer Halcyon ever had. No one knows what's happened to Earth, and no one knows what the future has in store for Halcyon. All we know for certain is this: the name of the Unreliable and that of its intrepid captain will remain the subject of countless stories for years to come.
And there this comes. So, was it good? I fucking loved it. I don't know why people think of this as mediocre. The only thing I really didn't like was the boss fight, but that's because I personally do not like boss fights. That's it, and that's all. I'm very, very pleased with the game. But it could also be that I, heard some reviews claiming it was mediocre. So I went in with low expectations and got a game I really liked. Of course, also I do like my first-person shooters quite a lot, even though I don't play him a lot anymore. So that might weigh in a bit as well and make it a little bit better, because I enjoyed the combat. Also, generally speaking, it's just, yeah. The only bit of a letdown to me was the boss fight, and that's because I do not like boss fights. So it was something I am a bit unbiased towards, or have a bias towards, in not liking. So it's very, very, subjective. Of course, everything in regards to games and liking them and so on are subjective, but yeah, I had a lot of good time with this. A lot of a good time. One hell of a good time. And I'm certainly looking forward to Outer Worlds 2. Whenever that gets released. And to play the DLCs. Not sure how I will handle that bit, if I'll do the non-commentary or how I'll do. I'll see. We'll see, I guess. But for now, I'm going to just, shut up, wait for this to scroll to the end and say right here then, thanks for watching, take care, see you and have fun.